Hi, friends. So I am coming to you from Isle Royale, which is an island probably about 50 miles off the northernmost tip of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So it's part of Michigan and it's a national park. We're really far up, and this is an amazing experience. I'm actually here with my job. I work for a marketing agency that is my day job, and we are here with a tourism client shooting mostly photography and video. I'm along as a writer and storyteller and trying to capture other stories, but I'm also here to be in the photos. So I'm kind of a model in a way, which is interesting. And this trip just happened to coincide with my 49th birthday. And it's been a really interesting experience. I can't think of a time in the past, let's say 10 years, that I have been photographed or on video nearly as much as I have been in just the past couple of days, unless you count me filming myself, which is not the same because I'm always going to pick the most, flattering angle. It's usually going to be my neck up. I'm the one editing. And so it's been really interesting to have other people with cameras. And when they share an image with me after it's taken, like thinking, what do they like about this picture? Because I know they had hundreds on their roll and they deleted a whole bunch, and this is the one they kept. And to see what my eye immediately goes to if I'm the subject of the photo. And I can tell you, my eyes immediately go to my midsection, always. And then I find myself wishing I had pulled my shirt down in a more flattering way, or that I hadn't clipped the belt strap of my backpack around my belly as tightly as I did, because now you see rolls. Sometimes my eyes will go right to my neck, or my little hooded eyes that are getting more and more hooded as I get older. And I will find myself, instead of focusing in on what the photographer thought was appealing about the photo, which was probably honestly the scenery and not me at all, I become sort of obsessive about my flaws. And this is something that I'm struggling with more as I get older, and I imagine this is going to be a continued struggle. My body has changed a lot in the last 10 to 15 years, as a lot of midlife women's do. My face is changing, my neck is changing, like the quality of the skin on my chest is changing. I'm 49. These are things that are happening. And yesterday, one of the other women who was on the trip, who's become a good friend, took some quick pictures of Eric and I, and then she showed them to me really quick on her camera before, she walked away. And I almost wanted to be like, oh, well, can you just delete that one? I don't like it. I felt this sort of cringing and shrinking back and not wanting that photograph to be out there. And I stopped myself from saying anything because I thought, me worrying about how I look is the most boring thing I could do in this situation. Here's this body of mine that is taking me on a 10-mile hike or several mile paddle on Lake Superior, which was so fun and also a little bit scary. I'll talk about that in a future video. But also just look at the things I'm capable of. Look at the things that this 49-year-old body can do. I'm proud of it, and I'm also grateful to it, and I want to celebrate it. And I want to get past whatever these weird hangups are that in my logical brain, I just know are so inconsequential. It does not matter how my abdomen looks in a pair of hiking pants. It does not matter. I know that on a logical level, and it's so hard to let go of on a emotional level or a subconscious level, a social conditioning level, whatever that is, right? We're all there. We're all looking to the parts of us that we think are flawed. And I'm 49, and I don't want to spend my 50s feeling that way. I think there's a stance or a posture that I can come into this next decade of my life, and I just have 1 year to go before I'm in my 50s. I don't think that I can eliminate those feelings, but I feel like I can come in with a different posture. I do enjoy good aesthetics. I do want my hair to look well groomed. I do want to look like I put an outfit on and tried today, but I don't want it so tangled up with this idea of what it meant to look hot or attractive when I was in my 20s. That's just not really relevant to me anymore. So, how do I gracefully and graciously change my posture and the way I treat myself as my body and face continue to change? I think right now I have more questions than answers, but because this is a birthday for me and kind of a big one, I feel like that final year before you close out a decade is almost as momentous as, bringing in the new decade. So I want this year to count, and I want it to count for the right reasons. If I'm going to do something like overhaul the way I eat or change up my gym routine or something like that, I want it to be because I'm honoring my body and setting myself up to be able to live actively and adventurously and do all the things I want to do. Because when I'm 80 and I'm looking back at how I spent the last several decades, I'm really not going to care how my tummy looked in a photo that was taken of me on July 27th, 2026, right? So I'm just going to leave you with that thought today. If you're in your 40s or 50s or wherever you are in your journey of aging, I'm sure you've had moments before where you were a little shocked by the things happening to your body, maybe somewhat disappointed, uncomfortable. Maybe you feel a little disoriented, like you don't feel like it looks like you anymore. I think all of that is really normal. And I also think we have choices and agency in the way we treat our bodies and faces as we age. So I'm thinking about that today. And I'm also just thinking about enjoying this absolutely beautiful scenery. It is so gorgeous up here. Lake Superior is so clear, and this island is built on this craggy rock. And everywhere you look, there's just these pine forests and little islands dotting the coast. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I want my eyes to see that beauty, which isn't perfect, is older and has changed over time. And that's part of what makes it so beautiful, right? So that's what I'm thinking about today on my 49th birthday. I just wanted to pop in and send you a little message on my birthday and check in. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.